We're very excited here on RM Breakfast because in just a few moments we're going to have the great privilege of revealing the shortlist for this year's Stella Prize. The Stella, as many of you will already know, honours Australian women and non-binary writers. And joining me to make the announcement is Jacqueline Bouton, the creative director of the Stella Prize. Welcome back to RM Breakfast.
Thanks, PK. It's lovely to get to do this another year in a row.
Now, we're going to stretch this out to keep our audience waiting just a little bit longer by doing this. Just, I like to do suspense. It's my Hollywood moment. So we'll announce the shortlist soon. But why is the Stella important to Australian writing?
There are two answers to that. One is that literary prizes play a very important role in an artist's career. They open up opportunities for authors to continue to write and to be recognised for that work. The other is that, there is still a gender imbalance in the cultural sector in Australia and women do not get the recognition they deserve. So a prize particularly dedicated to women and non-binary writers is about redressing that imbalance.
What do authors gain? You say, that in their career it's difficult by being nominated, even nominated, let alone winning a Stella.
There are a few things. So firstly, prize money is really important. We award prize money at each stage of the Stella Prize. So as a long listee, then as a short listee, then as a winner. Prize money is incredibly important. It buys an author time to write. Book sales is the other major factor. So we are very proud that the announcement of the long list, short list and winner often results in significant book sales for an author. And again, what that can lead to is adaptation opportunities, international rights sales and the chance again to spend more time on their next work.
Yeah, and to keep doing it, right?
Exactly. Make a living as an artist in Australia is very hard and this is one of the ways we can help.
And it's also very hard to stay creative when you have to kind of hustle so much just to support yourself.
Totally. Women are constantly, particularly as writers, are kind of knitting together this complex network of opportunities that help them do their work, and we hope to contribute to that.
Absolutely. Now, I think it's time. I've sort of built that up. I like to build things up. Jacqueline, I'll hand over to you to announce the shortlist for the 2023 Stella Prize.
Thanks, PK. So we have 6 books listed for the 2023 Stella Prize shortlist. In order of the author's surname, alphabetical order of the author's surname, we have We Come With This Place by Debra Dank, published by Echo Publishing. Big Beautiful Female Theory by Eloise Grills from Affirm Press. The Jaguar by Sarah Holland-Batt from University of Queensland Press. Hydra by Adriane Howell from Transit Lounge. Indelible City by Louisa from Text Publishing. And Bad Art Mother by Edwina Preston from Wakefield Press.
And just as you say that, we have the magic of Edwina Preston being in the studio, who we magicked up like magicians. She's the author of Bad Art Mother. Congratulations.
Thank you, Patricia.
How does it feel to be on such a prestigious shortlist?
Very exciting. I'm thrilled to be here talking to you and talking to people about the book, and I'm gobsmacked, really.
Tell me about your book, though, Bad Art Mother. What are you doing here?
It's about a female poet in 1960s Melbourne who is a difficult woman, I guess one would say. She's also a mother and she's dealing with literary sexism and an artistic culture that, while bohemian, is also not really geared towards women and their responsibilities and interests.
And Jacqueline, I'm going to ask you to share the judges' reasoning for Edwina to be on the shortlist. What did they like about Bad Art Mother? I mean, I love the title. That's got me halfway there. Bad Art Mother.
So each year we have a panel of 5 judges who select the works. They are working to a selection criteria of original, excellent and engaging. Edwina, of course, your book is meeting all of those criteria beautifully. I think one of the things they were most interested in is the way in which there's a tension and a balance going on in your book around domesticity, creativity, ambition, the mundane. It's a complex kind of space, and those stories don't get told enough in Australia, and particularly from a female artist's perspective. So, yeah, they were really inspired by that.
Edwina, why did these ideas and these themes resonate with you?
Because I am a mother, I guess. And
How much is this?
I think I'm a good mother, actually. I think my daughters would agree with me. But, so I'm dealing with it personally, and I've always considered myself a feminist and been thinking about these issues and these disparities and inequalities in my own relationships. And also, I was also interested in looking at the generation, my mother's generation, and what they kind of put in place for us, and that sort of pre-1970s woman trying to be creative before feminism had come to the party to really support and help them.
A really hard time. I understand the novel was rejected a few times before it was published.
Yes, it was, quite a few times.
What does that tell us? I mean, now you're on this list. But you was rejected. What story does that tell us?
There's vindication in it for me.
Oh, totally.
But it's also really affirming, obviously, that, publishing's about all sorts of things, timing, subjective opinions, marketing. Marketing, I think, is a difficult one because no one knows how books are going to sell. It's kind of black magic. So people are tentative. But Wakefield Press, a very small press based in South Australia, came to the party and they loved it, and all that matters is one publisher to love your book. That's all you need.
To get it up and running.
Yeah.
When you were rejected, though, I'm always interested in the way people respond to rejection. How did you keep going? How did you have faith in your work?
Funnily enough, you might think that being rejected, the more you're rejected, the thicker skinned you become. For me, it was the opposite. I became more and more thin-skinned and sort of desperate and hopeless as I went along. But luckily, I wasn't sending the work out myself. I had my agent doing it. So that was sort of a bit of a protective barrier, a bit of a shield. And she was able to filter those rejections and talk me through them. So I don't know if I would have sent it out 25 times if it had just been little old me in the world. I think I would have given up much earlier.
Jacqueline, what about the other titles on the shortlist? There's fiction, non-fiction, poetry, graphic memoir. How do they speak to the themes of this year?
It's always hard to summarise 6 books, but were I to try to, I would say they're culture-shifting titles. They are about this moment. So I think, Edwina, about when you wrote that book and the amount of time it took and that it got rejected so often, this moment is when that book is ready for readers. We're in a particular cultural conversation about feminism and women and creativity that it speaks to, and I think that's true of all the books on the shortlist. They are very now books, which I think is powerful and exciting for readers.
Now books. Because sometimes you do have to wait for that moment, don't you?
Yeah, I don't think...
Context matters.
Context matters. Often authors and artists are leading the cultural conversation. They're ahead of the times. And so now this is the opportunity for readers to really absorb that and speak back.
So now you can bask in this.
Yes, I have been basking for some weeks now since the long list was announced.
Did the kids tell you they were proud?
Yes, but they don't really want to read my book.
No, look, story of a mother's life. When will the winner be announced?
So the winner is announced in about 4 weeks' time on the 27th of April. We have a major gala celebration in Sydney where the winner is announced and will be awarded $60,000 in prize money. That is a very significant amount of money, and we are very proud to be able to offer that to the authors. It comes from the incredible support that we receive from the Wilson Foundation and major philanthropist Karen Wilson, who has been an incredible supporter for Stella over the years.
Yeah, it's a bit of a game changer, isn't it, being able to have some money to keep doing your work. Edwina, how much, I mean, I'm, just on the list, but how much would that change the way you thought about doing work?
I think that more than anything, it represents a kind of validation.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, I've got things that I'll do with that money, but I wouldn't be able to give up my day job, for instance. But it's still huge. It's not often in life you get a lump sum like that. And so, I have my plans of what I do with it. Secret plans.
Secret plans, flashy car. Just joking. Look, it's been so wonderful to have you both in, and congratulations on the big reveal.